What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans. We made it back. I'm so excited. So excited. I don't even know what to say. We made it back. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's all because of all of you. Thank you guys so much for all your support. You guys are so awesome. So awesome. I can't even put it into words. It is amazing. The way you guys responded to that last live was so awesome. So many of you reached out to me and helped me in so many different ways. And so many of you guys tagged Team YouTube on Twitter that they actually helped me. They actually helped me. They came and found me. They wrote me in my DMs. They helped me figure out what was going on. I had to send them everything. Pictures of my ID and everything. Just forfeited my identity to these people. And they were able to tell that everything was taken from me. They shut the account down. They got me back into it. So much stuff was changed. That's why it took me so long to start this live. All my settings are messed up. I lost my Facebook. It's kind of a long story. I didn't just lose my YouTube. They took my Gmail. They signed me out of my YouTube. I've been going through like 3 or 4 days of hell. I didn't just lose access to this. After I got off the live with you guys, they took over my Facebook. My Facebook got locked. Facebook reached out to me, said, hey, we know that you're hijacked right now. I was working with them to figure that stuff out. While that was happening, YouTube was writing me on Twitter. I was talking to YouTube, and then I started getting notifications that my Twitter was being slammed, trying to get passwords and stuff. So then I had to tell them in the DMs, hey, I know you guys are trying to help me, but they just took my Facebook. They're trying to take my Twitter right now. You need to write me on one of these emails, and gave them a list of emails that I have. And I said, you have to keep trying to contact me because they're taking everything from me right now. And YouTube actually did. They actually did. Their customer service sucks through the YouTube studio, but they actually got a hold of me. My Twitter was compromised for a moment, a brief moment. I got my Facebook back, but they disconnected my page. So my page is just floating out there like an island. I can't reach it. I can't connect to it. So I don't have a way to use my page right now. I'm still working on that. I was able to get my Twitter back. Then yesterday morning, I woke up to a PayPal notification asking if I tried to pull $400 out of my account that I don't have, which I didn't. So they were trying to get into my PayPal. Then this morning they tried to pull another $450 out of my PayPal, even though I had already changed the passwords and stuff. Like, this is bleeding into the rest of my life. This is like all kinds of stuff. I've changed the passwords on everything. I literally spent all day yesterday cleaning this computer. Every way known to man. I was Googling stuff. I was watching videos. I've downloaded every kind of software to ever clean viruses ever. But there's some symptoms of what happened that kind of lead me to believe what they were looking for, what their motives were. So I don't think it was just a general virus. I think there's, I don't know. I don't want to say too much because I'm sure they're watching right now. But we may be okay now. We may be all right. So I'm very happy to be here. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable that we're here. With that being said, I also was given notification that we can go live on Locals now. They have unlocked live beta or something on my account. So for everyone that's a member on Locals, we're able to go live now. Now, I messed something up. We're not live right now like I had expected. Something's messed up. I'll have to go and work on that. But for everyone that's a member over on Locals, you'll be able to watch the live on Locals. If you watch on Rumble, you should have a badge next to your name saying that you're a supporter, saying you're a member on Locals and stuff like that. So both those lives on Locals and on Rumble should kind of be synchronized together to symbolize that you're a member, that you're, you have a membership. Something else. It was very hard to find news today. Everything's about the Orange Eagle. I'm going to show a little bit of the protesting going on, but we probably will have to have it muted because of the things being said. It's not very active from what I've seen. I know that it was earlier. It doesn't seem very active right this second. What I wonder is, what are they distracting us from? Not everybody cares about the Orange Eagle as much as like it's going on right now. Like, I know that blue team wants to see him get arrested and stuff, even though it's temporary. And I know the red team is trying to support him, but that's all the news going on. There is like nothing else happening in the world right now, and that's super suspicious to me. But I did find some things. We're going to watch the press briefing. I know that I'm late. You can tell me how much I suck. I know. I've been realizing it all weekend. So, we're going to watch the press briefing. We're going to show the live protesting and stuff going on in New York and anything else we can capture. I have a video for the non-YouTube platforms that we're going to watch at the end of the live. And I have a video that we're going to cover. Hold on, I might have two. I have a video that's titled Roy McGrath Killed During Encounter with FBI in Tennessee After 3-Week Manhunt. That whole story sounds really suspicious, but we're going to cover that. And then we have just a video clip from the protest from earlier that we're going to show on the non-YouTube platforms because of things being said in the video, but it's fairly entertaining, so we're going to cover that. I have two different videos that are live pulled up that's in front of the courthouse or whatever's going on in Manhattan where they're waiting for the Orange Eagle. I have those pulled up. We'll flip those on and off as this goes, as this live rolls on. But we're going to start with the press briefing. I'm going to read through the chat really quick, make sure you guys are doing good, and we're going to get this started. Also, I moved my camera, so if I'm like super giant right now, that's why. We're trying some new things. I got to hang up that new green screen from the birthday unboxing. Yeah, Dayzen, I didn't realize I had a hot mic until earlier. All my settings were reset, and I didn't realize that. So I was talking to my phone to send notifications out to everyone, so that's why I was talking like a robot. What's up, Shadow Kane? Thank you guys so much for continuing your memberships, and for everyone that moved your membership off of YouTube, you're just keeping us more stable. So don't worry about coming back and putting your membership back on YouTube if that's what you're considering right now. If you want to, do what you want. You're a free hooligan. But one day, I think we're going to get knocked off of YouTube anyways. I just didn't think it was going to be during identity theft. We're still trying to be self-sufficient without totally relying on YouTube, and we're at like the 50% mark. So those of you that moved off of YouTube, you're making us stable. So everyone that joined the website, everyone that joined Locals, everyone that joined the membership over on Gilded or Discord or anywhere off the platform, you're just making us more stable. YouTube is where everyone is. We're going to recruit everyone from YouTube, and we're going to just try and build up everywhere else. We're pulling them in through YouTube because that's where everybody is, and then we're bringing them to the other platforms to stay stable. We're not leaving YouTube, but for those days where they strike me, those days they act like they're going to take me out, we're going to be okay. It's not going to be the end of the world like it feels every time that happens. We're building stability. So if you did move off of YouTube, you're totally fine. If you want to come back, we're safe now. You can if you wish. But I just wanted to mention that. Shadow Kane, yeah, I know. I got this million-mile smile. When I was young, they would say, "Why do you show all your teeth when you smile?" It's like I can see your molars and everything. I used to get picked on hardcore when I was in school. I get picked on now by half you hooligans. I appreciate you, JT3. You hooligans are amazing. Shadow Kane, I used the feedback option. Not sure if that helped at all. Yeah, all of you guys reaching out to YouTube is what fixed this. It wasn't nothing I did. I tagged them on Twitter, but all of you shared it. All of you shared that last live saying I lost everything. They responded to more of you than me. They came to me last. I seen them commenting on all of your guys' posts, and then I went to check mine, and they had just posted like within seconds, hey, we're here to help you. We see that there's something going on. We're going to send you some messages, and we need you to talk to us. And I was like, sweet. The customer service on YouTube is brain dead through the YouTube platform, on YouTube Studio. Those are the ones that told me to trust that email. They told me to download the document. They didn't just tell me to download the document. They said if I did not download it and I did not activate it, they would demonetize me. So they told me to do it and put a or else on top of it. That's what caused me to get compromised. It's not because I didn't have antivirus. It's not because I didn't have two-step security. It's not because of any of that stuff. It's because I trusted them and I shouldn't have. And my AVG and all that stuff lit up and said, hey, there's something suspicious about this. I told YouTube Studio that. They said, open it anyways. And it was the legit customer service through the YouTube Studio. The only way you can access it is if you are a monetized account. But those people are brain dead. And so they told me to do this to myself. And they're the ones that got me compromised. When I talked to the team YouTube on Twitter, those people have a brain. They were willing to help me no matter what. They were checking IP addresses and everything. They knew what they were doing. I don't understand why there's a customer support on the YouTube Studio, and I don't know why they're not willing to help people that are not monetized. Because when I lost my account, I signed into another channel, went to write them, and you can't. You can't write them unless you're monetized. So they need to fix that, just by the way. Wicked Patriot, I've been demoted. I think you're fixed. I fixed you, Wicked Patriot. Thank you so much, Kilgore. Thank you so much, everybody, for continuing your memberships. You guys are officially hooligans. I appreciate all of you. Just today is so awesome. It feels like my birthday all over again. I know you want to see something other than me sit here and grin at the camera. I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. I'm so excited. I'm like a little girl right now. Thank you so much, Wicked Patriot, for the $10 donation. You're so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Junker, for the $10 donation. You guys are amazing. Are members working again now? Yes. Yep. Memberships are working. Everything's working. Everything's working. I don't know why Wicked wasn't a mod again, but I don't know. Other than that, nothing really seems to be changed on my platform, and that's one of those symptoms I'm telling you guys. They weren't just here to do whatever. They did target my YouTube. It was specified for YouTube. The email was fraudulent and painted up to look like YouTube. That was the target, but once they gained access, they didn't even touch my YouTube. They went through my information, my usernames, my passwords, and everything that was saved to Google in general. So do not save your usernames. Do not save that stuff to your passwords. I know it's annoying to remember a billion passwords, but it's worthwhile, because if you do something stupid and you compromise your account, they will access your whole life. And I'm lucky that I didn't trust everything like my credit cards and stuff to be saved as payment methods. Otherwise, I'd have more problems than I have right now. So that's just my advice as somebody who was a real big idiot over the weekend and lost everything. And thanks to all of you, I got it back. Harpazo, I'm trying to do the whole song and dance here. We'll see how it goes. All right, are you guys ready to move forward? I know I'm all big screen right here. I feel like the man. All right, let me see what we're gonna show first. So we're gonna check on the protesters. There's not gonna be any audio. You're not missing anything anyways. The camera person that we're looking at is standing off to the side. They're not up in the mix anyways, but we're just gonna show what's going on there. It's just a group of people. We're gonna move from that onto the press briefing. So this is what we're looking at right now. not a whole lot going on. It was really active earlier. I've seen all kinds of video of people holding up signs and saying stupid stuff and impersonating the Orange Eagle and all that. I see that there was stuff going on, but now all the camera people have backed up. I seen Oreo Express was live earlier and his feed was cutting out like crazy. I don't know if it's a bad spot for a cell phone signal or if there's just too many phones in that condensed area. But it seems like everybody live streaming in the group, live stream is trash. So maybe that's why all the camera people are on the outside right now. But other than the sounds of a crowd, there isn't much going on, it seems. So we're going to start the press briefing, but I'm going to read through all the chats really quick, make sure everybody's doing good, and we're going to go ahead and get this started. I know this is just a crap show right now, but I'm a little rusty. It's been a couple days. It's been hard days. I haven't slept more than 5 or 10 minutes since Saturday because every time my phone dings, I think it's notifications that my stuff's being hacked. They literally, right before I went live, they tried to take $460 from me. And yesterday they tried to take $400 from me. And it's like, boom, notification. I wake up, jump up, run to the computer. It's not fun. I have like PTSD right now. So if I'm a little weird, that's why. Oh my goodness. Neo Cole, she was live. I don't know if she's still live, but we're going to watch it from the beginning. So you're not missing anything. Thank you so much, IB4, for gifting 10 memberships over on YouTube. You're awesome. Thank you, IB4. I appreciate you, Orsvik. Did you watch RSBN footage? I did not see RSBN earlier, but at 6 o'clock Eastern time, or maybe it's 8, sometime between 6 and 8, Right Side Broadcasting is supposed to go live with the Orange Eagle. We are going to show that. It's not going to be on all platforms because anytime I show Trump on YouTube, there's an issue, and I can't take a strike right now. I just can't take that right now. So we are going to show the Orange Eagle later, sometime between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern time through Right Side Broadcasting, but it's not going to be on YouTube platforms. I will share the links out. I'll send notifications. I will let you guys know. John, I'm going to give you the Rumble link here in a second. YouTube is rolling out this link community guideline deal where if you share links that are not YouTube related, you can get in trouble. I don't know what it is. They don't specify the links yet. I haven't heard of anyone being punished yet for links, but I did get a notice from YouTube saying that they are going to start cracking down on links. I don't know what all that means. I just want to make you guys aware. There could be a time in the future where I'm not able to give you the Rumble links and stuff like that. So just kind of be aware of that. What is up, everyone on Twitch? Let's see. Thank you so much, Snooks, for continuing the membership program over on Twitch for 12 months. You're officially a hooligan. Thank you so much, Mr. Beansy Beans, for gifting 5 subs over on Twitch. You're awesome, Mr. Beansy Beans. I appreciate all you guys being here. Gifted another sub, Mr. Beansy Beans. You're awesome. Thank you so much for all the support. What's up, everyone on Odyssey? Happy freedom, all of you hooligans. Today is Tuesday. That's amazing, because it really feels like Saturday to me. Maybe I'll eat a taco today. Maybe KJP will high-five me for eating that taco. You heard what I said. Don't get all mad. Find a reason to laugh. What is up, everyone on Rumble? I appreciate all of you hooligans. You guys are amazing. 72 of you over there already. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, Snooks, for that $100 donation. You're awesome, Snooks. Thank you so much for everything you do and putting up with my crap every day. Thank you so much. Serum, you're taking one for the team with that taco. KJP couldn't handle all this hooligan organicness I have going on over here. She couldn't. I'd change her life. She don't want these problems. What is up, everyone, on JeffMACLive.com. Happy freedom, all of you hooligans. I'm so glad you guys are here. All right, I've said enough. We're going to let KJP do the rest of the talking for probably the next 40 minutes here. Let's get her started.
She's good. Prostitute.
Oh, good. The sound bites are still here. That's good.
Lying makes you weak.
Make America great again.
He's on fire!
Yes, good stuff.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. About 1:30, right on time for all of you. Oh, boy. Happy Monday. Okay, today, President Biden released a statement welcoming Finland.
Is this not from today? This is from today. Why'd she say Happy Monday?
For the NATO alliance, and it comes on the 74th anniversary of NATO's founding. Welcoming Finland to NATO has been a priority for the president. He has been actively engaged throughout this process, hosting Finland's president here at the White House several times. The Senate acted in near record time to advance the ratification process, and Finland's ratification process, which took less than 1 year, is the fastest ratification process in NATO's modern history. We also look forward to welcoming Sweden as a NATO member as soon as possible and encourage Turkey and Hungary to conclude their ratification process without delay. Both Finland and Sweden are strong democracies with highly capable militaries who share our values and vision for the world. As President Biden said, when Putin launched his brutal war of aggression against the people of Ukraine, he thought he could divide Europe and NATO. He was wrong. Today, we are more unified than ever, and we will continue to preserve transatlantic security, defend every inch of NATO territory, and meet any and all challenges we face. Now, to support Ukraine, today, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing 2 critical new packages of security assistance that include significant new air defense capabilities, more ammunition for U.S.-provided HIMARS, and anti-armor and motor systems, as well as rockets, artillery, and tank ammunition that Ukraine is using to defend itself. It is the 35th time the administration has authorized the use of presidential drawdown authorities to send much-needed assistance to Ukraine to meet its immediate battlefield needs. And we are also providing equipment throughout Ukraine's Security Assistance Initiative to help Ukraine with its longer-term security assistance requirements. President Biden's commitment to supporting Ukraine is clear. We will continue to work with our allies and partners around the world to support Ukraine as they defend their democracy and to impose costs on Russia as it continues its unconscionable, unprovoked war of choice. And finally today, as you will see momentarily, President Biden will meet with the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. The meeting will focus on the risks and opportunities that artificial intelligence technologies pose for individuals, society, and national security. The President will discuss the importance of protecting rights and safety to ensure responsible, innovative, and appropriate safeguards. The President believes that tech companies have a responsibility to make sure their products are safe before making them public. And so he will also reiterate his call on Congress to pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect kids, limit personal data tech companies collect on all of us. With that, Sungmin, you want to kick us off?
I have 2 topics.
Sure.
I was wondering on the pretty remarkable developments in the Tennessee legislature where Republican lawmakers are moving to expel Democratic lawmakers for their role in gun protests. And I'm wondering if the White House the president think what the reaction is to these attempts to expel these members? Do they think it's justified, not justified, and everything that's kind of happening in that legislature after the Nashville shootings last week?
So a couple of things. Look, as we know, and you heard me speak to it, you heard the president speak to this, the first lady speak to this last week. What we saw in Nashville, that horrific event of 3 kids and 3 adults essentially being murdered at school, was heart-wrenching and infuriating. Our hearts go out to their families. We understand that it's going to take some time to even move forward from such a tragic loss. Look, as you saw, and I'm sure been reporting, 7,000 students peacefully marched to the Capitol to confront their lawmakers for their failure to keep them safe at school. And what did the Republican legislators?
So it wasn't an insurrection?
They're trying to expel these 3 Democratic legislators who joined in the protests. And so, look, what we're seeing from Florida to Tennessee in the United States are Republican officials who are doubling down on dangerous bills that make our school places of worship and communities less safe. And so they are, by doing what they're doing with these 3 Democratic legislators, they're shrugging in the face of yet another tragic school shooting while our kids continue to pay the price. That's what we're seeing every time that we hear one of these tragic events. President has been clear. Too many lives are being ripped apart. Communities are being ripped apart with this gun violence, which is an epidemic in our country. This is why he's taken the actions that he has these first 2 years and continues to have with executive action, historic executive action. And he's going to continue to call on Congress to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazine, require safe storage of firearms, eliminate gun manufacturers' immunity from liability, and require background checks for all gun sales, and for state officials to take action at the state level. But again, Republican legislators, to your question, want to play politics and not put the lives of our kids first.
And on the second topic, can the White House give us an actual timeline of when they expect the wrongfully detained designation for Mr. Dershowitz?
So I have a couple of things. I have some updates for you on that. And some of this you guys already know. Look, we're going to continue to call for the release of Evan Dershowitz. As I said, these charges are ridiculous. Evan is not a spy. Evan has never been a spy. Evan has never worked for the U.S. government, and he is an independent journalist employed by the Wall Street Journal, as you all know. This is a case that is a priority for this president. A couple of things that occurred over the weekend that I'll just lay out for you here. Secretary Blinken spoke directly with Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov to convey that the United States is gravely concerned that Evan's detention is unacceptable and that he should be immediately released. The secretary also urged the Kremlin to release immediately Paul Whelan. And since the administration was first alerted to this case, the State Department has continually attempted to secure consular access to Evan as it relates to the designation of wrongfully detained. And I'll say this, that process, the state has a process that is currently ongoing. It's playing out. And so I would refer you to the state on any specifics of that piece. There's a couple of things I do want to add just to give some folks and the American people just more broadly what that process is, because I know there's a lot of interest. I'm not going to get into specifics of the internal deliberate process, but the Department of State reviews cases of U.S. nationals detained abroad to determine if they are wrongful. The review assesses the facts of the case against criteria laid out in the Levinson Act. And so, again, without speaking to this particular case, a wrongful detention determination means that a couple of things, that the teams at the National Security Council, various offices at the Department of State, including the Special Envoy for Hostage Affairs and other U.S. government agency, will collaboratively work with colleagues inside and outside the government to develop a strategy to secure individuals' release, and just wanted to give that kind of broad scope of how this process works and what it actually offers.
Is that a matter of days? Is that a week, more than a week? Because obviously there's an urgency.
I understand the urgency. There is an urgency for this president. I have just said, this is a priority for the president. This is a process that is playing out currently in the State Department, and they would have more specific on timeline.
Just to follow up on that, given that you're reiterating what an urgent priority it is to get him back home, at this point, would the administration say that anything is on the table to try to get him back home?
As you know, we try to be very careful, especially as we are having these conversations. I'm not going to get into specifics on what's playing out, what's on the table, what's not on the table, just not going to do that from here. Again, as I just stated, this is a priority for this president, and I'm just going to leave it there.
So at this point, you couldn't say whether a potential prisoner swap, for example, is or isn't on the
That is not something that I'm going to be just laying into from here at the podium.
And I did want to ask about the Donald Trump arraignment. I know you're not going to comment about the legal proceedings. You've said that many times, but can you give us any sense of how President Biden is taking all of this in just as a moment in American history? Obviously, he's a consumer of news. Has he been watching, reading the developments that are unfolding right now?
So first, I have to say this it's an ongoing case, so we're just not going to comment on the case specifically itself. Look, the president's going to focus on the American people like he does every day. He is not.
Is that what he does every day? I'm pretty sure that's not what he does every day.
Focus for him.
I don't believe that at all.
To focus on things like making sure that we continue to lower prices for the American people. Of course, this is playing out on many of the networks here on a daily basis for hours and hours. So obviously, he will catch part of the news when he has a moment to catch up on the news of the day. But this is not his focus for today.
Have you spoken to him in recent days about these developments?
I have not. I have not focused. I have not spoken to him in the recent days on these developments. It's not. Again, it's not our focus. I will reiterate what I said last week.
Lying makes you
when.
weak.
When it occurred, when we first learned about the indictment, the president was not given a heads up. He was briefed by his chief of staff, and he learned about this just like all of you through the reporting. Again, our focus right now is on the American people, and I'm just not going to comment on any ongoing case. Okay?
In that same vein, do you expect the president will be briefed, though, on the charges once that indictment is?
What I can tell you for sure is that the president's focused on the American people. That I know for sure.
The president said yesterday he's not concerned about unrest because he has faith in the New York Police Department. Are you tracking any credible threats at this time?
I'm not going to get into hypotheticals from here. What I will say is what I said last week is that we are prepared.
And just, the president, can you speak at all to the inflammatory comments coming from Donald Trump against elected officials, including D.A. Bragg? Just what's the message from the White House that the former president is making these kinds of threats and comments?
Look, we've been always very clear. Any
He's making threats?
violence, that is something that we condemn from here, but not going to get anything that is touching or relating to the case. We're just not going to comment from here, and I'm just going to leave it there for now.
Thanks, Karine. Moving to the AI meeting that you referenced, companies that develop AI saw their stocks go down on the stock market today. Is there anything they should be concerned about with regard to what the outcome of this meeting may be? You mentioned that he's going to make this call on Congress. Are there any other specific policies that he's looking at that could affect the industry that may result from this meeting?
Look, I mean, a couple of things there. Look, nothing to announce from here at this time as far as actions, or I know there were questions about enforcing a moratorium. There's just nothing to announce from here. Look, I mentioned this last week. There's a comprehensive process that is underway to ensure a cohesive federal government approach to AI-related risks and opportunities. And we do believe, this president believes, that the tech companies have a responsibility to make sure that their products are safe before making them public. That is something that we believe. As you just mentioned, Jeff, he's going to call on Congress. I'm not going to get too far.
I am.
You'll hear directly from him moments from now. But again, we believe that the president believes that the tech companies do have a responsibility here.
And one other economic issue. You were asked yesterday, or Olivia was asked about OPEC. There seems to be an impression that the White House is less concerned about this move by OPEC than maybe it has been by others, other moves rather. Are you not worried about the impact on gasoline prices perhaps going up this summer, which was such a critical issue last year and would have a political impact on this president if they did again?
So a couple of things there, Jeff. Look, our focus is always going to be on the American people, doing everything that we can to make sure that we lower costs and meet the American people where they are, which is why the president took the actions that he has taken this past.
Listen, lady, you can't lie to me. I know that's not true.
Very closely. analysts has said last year that prices were going to go up, and that did not happen. If anything, in fact, gasoline prices went down by $1.50 at it when it was
$1.50, huh?
A lot of that is because of the
Specifically?
the president took. And just to give you a little bit more, the price of oil has been trading around $80 a barrel over the past month. They are around 110 and 120 a barrel last year. And I just mentioned the prices of gas. So again, last year, the analysts predicted prices would go higher, and because of what the president did, because of the policies that he put forward, because of the actions that he put forward, we have seen those prices go down, especially if you think about gas prices. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals about the summer or what the summer is going to bring, but again, that's the main focus for this president is the American people. We'll continue to work with all producers and consumers to ensure energy markets, support economic growth, and lower prices for the American consumer. I'll come to that.
Thanks, Karine. Just in that vein, I mean, the president specifically said, when asked about OPEC+, it's not as bad as you think. Can you just clarify specifically what he was saying and why is it not as bad?
I mean, I kind of touched on it already, which is last year analysts were predicting that the prices were going to increase, and it didn't. And a lot of it is because of the actions that this president took. And we see that in the price of oil per a gallon. We see that in the gas prices. And so, that is what the president's going to continue to focus on how do we lower the prices for the American people. That's why the Inflation Reduction Act is so important. When you think about energy security, that's why many of the other, like CHIPS and Science Act, all of the other bipartisan infrastructure legislation, those historic pieces of legislation are so critical and important. So again, analysts were wrong a year ago, and we have the data to prove that.
Is there any thoughts of, tapping the strategic petroleum reserves again, or maybe going to Venezuela? I mean, are those, Biden in the fall talked about other alternatives? Are those some of the alternatives that they're considering now?
So look, I'm not going to getting into hypotheticals, especially about any market predictions that have proven wrong in the past, as I just mentioned. Look, what we know is what the president has done has worked. I'm just going to leave that there and not get into hypotheticals. Okay.
Karine, has the president been briefed on the security operations underway in New York in advance of the former president's arraignment?
Don't have any preview or conversations to share with all of you. As you know, the president gets the daily presidential briefing every morning, but I just don't have anything specifically on that. All I can say is that the president is that we are prepared, and don't want to get too much into hypotheticals from here.
And in this moment where there are some prominent Republicans talking specifically about whether Americans can trust the justice system here. We've seen President Biden say he does have faith in the legal system, but can you help Americans understand why this isn't a moment for the president to come out and speak more forcefully on the rule of law, or what this could mean more widely?
Look, I'm just not going to speak to this case. I'm not going to go beyond what the president shared with all of you, but I'm just not going to speak to an ongoing case. I'm going to leave it there.
And finally, on my colleagues reporting yesterday on the Chinese spy balloon that was able to get some sensitive information and transmit it back to Beijing in real time. The administration says there's an assessment underway about just what China may have been able to glean. Can you update us at all on the timeline for how much is left in that review and whether there are any plans to brief Congress or the president to speak publicly about that?
So, as you mentioned, there is a review being done by the FBI. I believe my colleague spoke to this yesterday. I'm not going to confirm or address that report, but what I'll say a couple of things from here. Look, we knew the flight path of the balloon before it crossed the United States. That's something that I said from here. We took precautions in advance to ensure that it didn't get sensitive information. It's also something that I said from this podium during that time. When it comes to technology like this balloon, it has limited additive value compared to other means of intelligent collection. So the bottom line, the administration identified this problem and it did something about it. And again, not going to confirm or address it. As you said, there's an ongoing review. Don't have a timeline on that. Good, Andrew.
Thanks. Just to follow up on my colleague, Evan Gershkovich, is the president's planning to speak to his parents?
So I don't have any calls to read out at this time. As I said, this is a priority for this president. As I said to your colleague last week, your colleague Evan is on our minds, and we are certainly thinking about them and about him, about Evan, and so we're doing everything that we can to get a counselor to him, and we'll have more to update and share.
And just on a different subject, China announced on Friday a cybersecurity probe into Micron Technologies, a major U.S. chip maker. Does the U.S. view that as an effort by China to undercut the U.S. chips industry, and do they see any evidence of a broader effort by China to do that?
So look, I'm not going to speak directly to China's actions. All I can say is the Chips and Science Act, as you know, was a bipartisan piece of legislation that was historic, and it speaks to the president's commitment to bring manufacturers back to the United States, to make sure that we have manufacturing jobs right here.
I'm going to show you guys what's going on with Orange Eagle while we listen to this.
You're seeing
so give me a second.
Companies like Micron take action and continue to invest here in America, and that's what the president is focused on. And the president has said from the beginning of his administration, we are looking for competition with China, not conflict, and that's what you're seeing in this moment as you're looking again at these manufacturing jobs as these companies are investing right here.
This guy's walking through the crowd.
He's
not really interviewing anyone, he's just kind of wandering around.
U.S. to sue OPEC countries for manipulating energy markets. Does the White House have a position on that bill yet? It's known as the NOPEC bill.
The NOPEC bill. What'd you say? What are you whispering?
I'm not whispering.
No whispering allowed. So a couple of things. Look, the president is focused on securing America's energy independence, and so
this is out front of the courthouse.
American families aren't subject to the actions of those halfway around the world, and his policies are working. As I just mentioned, oil and gas prices have gone down from last year because of the actions that this president took. U.S. oil production is on track.
This is also out front.
Historic record this year, and we are accelerating investments in clean energy through the Inflation Reduction Act. Again, a historic piece of legislation that is going to make a difference when we talk about energy security in this country.
Afghanistan, please.
I'm going to come to you.
Thank you. U.S. Ambassador to India, Eric Gassett, is now headed to New Delhi.
This is inside the building.
Message that Ambassador Gassett is carrying with himself for the people of India.
So look, this is something that I've said from here, that the president has said. When we look at the relationship with India, it's one of the most consequential relationships that the United States has in the world. That still stands. And Ambassador Garcetti will be leading an ambitious effort to deepen our cooperation with India in critical and emerging technologies, expand our defense cooperation, and strengthen our economic and people-to-people ties. Again, one of the most consequential relationships that we have in the United States in the world. So that the United States have in the world. So it's an important relationship that the president sees.
I have one more. What is the U.S. view on China renaming 11 places in the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh? This is another attempt by the Chinese to claim of us Indian territory.
So look, the United States, as you know, Lila, has recognized that territory for a long time. And we strongly oppose any unilateral attempts to advance territorial claims by renaming localities. And so, again, this is something that we have long stood by.
A few things. Thanks, Karine. On this meeting regarding AI and other technology issues, has the president himself ever been shown or used these new AI tools?
I'm not going to get ahead of the PCAST meeting. I think you'll see more and hear more from the president, so I'm not going to get ahead of what the president's going to be talking about and announcing.
Okay, so that's a tease. Following up on the Evan Gershkovich case, can you confirm here that the Russian ambassador was summoned to the State Department to discuss this detention?
I don't have anything to confirm from here.
You've covered most everything else I want to ask about, so I want to ask about this. Nicaragua. This week, Daniel Ortega has banned Holy Week street processions due to unspecified security concerns, meaning people in this overwhelmingly Catholic country cannot participate in essence, profess their faith, comes a few weeks after Ortega detained a Roman Catholic bishop. I know you were asked, Kirby was asked about this recently, just wondering if the Biden administration has any response to this.
So a couple of things. Yes, I know that question, I believe, came up last week. Look, there has been a dramatic deterioration of respect for democratic principles and human rights by the Ortega Murillo regime in Nicaragua, including the harassment and imprisonment of democratic leaders, members of the political opposition, faith leaders, students, and journalists as well. The United States finds this unacceptable, condemns these actions, and we have already taken a number of actions, as you know, Ed, to promote accountability for the regime's actions, including by imposing sanctions, and we will continue to do so. And we'll go to the back. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, thanks, Karine. So on the technology event coming up later, so critics are saying the president has been late on TikTok to act against TikTok. So what's the time frame then for guidelines on artificial intelligence or a pause on more powerful artificial intelligence?
So look, when it comes to TikTok, I want to be very clear. There's a CFIUS review. You've heard us say that over and over again from this podium, and that still stands. And the president has been very, very clear about his concern, his national security concern as it relates to the American people with this app. So just want to be very clear here. And so, look, like I said last time, this question was asked by your colleague here, who was very dramatic about AI.
Not on the time frame.
Well, look, I don't have a time frame to share with you. As I mentioned, there's a comprehensive process, mentioned this last week, which is underway to figure out how we're going to have a cohesive federal government approach to this. And this is incredibly important. You're going to hear from the president. He's going to speak to this. As you know, as I mentioned, he's going to speak to PCAST, so I'll let him let you hear from him directly. But clearly, this is something that the team is looking at and is very focused on.
Yeah, one more, if I could. House Republicans are meeting with the Taiwan president today. The top lawmakers, though, on the Hill are calling for information or hearings on information related to Chinese-made cranes at U.S. ports. Should there be hearings or an assessment by the NSC about possible spying by the Chinese at U.S. ports through these cranes?
I think you've asked me this question before. Nothing has changed from what I shared with you the last time. I'm just not going to get into it from here about hearings. Okay, but there's a way to do this, my friend. You know that. Give me a second. Let me get around. Go ahead, Ben.
On Evan Gershkovich's case, how worrying of a sign is it that the U.S. still does not have consular access to him, and what are you doing at a higher level to push for that?
Well, I just laid out the conversations that Secretary Blinken had with his counterpart just over the weekend. We're taking this very seriously. This is a priority for this president. Yes, we are concerned, and we're working diligently, very hard to get a counselor to Evan. That again, this is a priority, and so is Paul Whelan. Want to make sure. I lay that out for folks as well. But yes, we are doing, the State Department is doing all that they can to make sure a counselor is available to Evan. As you know, these are challenging circumstances, as you all know, and we are doing, again, everything in our power to get a counselor access to him quickly.
And the Journal's lawyers have been trying to visit him in prison. Is the White House in touch with the Journal about this, and how soon do you expect them to visit him?
I don't have anything to read out about a conversation with about the Wall Street Journal. I just don't have anything to read out on that. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Karine. Not asking about Trump, but about the precedent that this opens. Does the White House believe that a former president could or should be indicted?
I'm just not going to comment from here.
It's pretty interesting that they don't want to talk about it. It's a historical event, and they don't want to talk about it at all. They're acting like they don't even care. And really, they're probably scissoring behind closed doors about it. I know they're all throwing a little party in the back like it's some sort of win.
A former president could, down the line, open up the possibility, set the precedent, that local DAs that don't like former President Biden could indict him.
I'm not going to comment from here.
Why don't you have more to say about the Trump indictment?
It is an ongoing case, and I've been very clear about that. We've been prudent about that, not commenting on ongoing cases, and we're going to stick to that.
But for
Peter?
better or worse, all that anybody in the country is talking about at this exact moment while we're in here is Trump. And they look here to find out what the White House thinks about it, and
I think the American people should feel reassured that when there is an ongoing case like this one, that we're just not commenting.
And so, does the lack of comment mean that you do not think anything
She doesn't think.
today is one of the top issues facing the country at the moment?
That's your assessment. That's not my assessment. I'm just laying out the facts that we are just not going to comment on an ongoing case from here. And we've been very consistent, we've been very prudent, and we're going to stick there. Courtney, go ahead.
Thanks, Karine. I wanted to ask you about judges. Senator Hyde-Smith said today that she's not going to return a blue slip for Scott Cullum. He's your nominee for a court in Mississippi. Did you have awareness on that, and are you going to proceed with the nomination?
So this is the first time I'm hearing about this, so I would have to go back to my team before I can comment fully.
And I also wanted to ask you about...
There's something suspicious about everything going on.
Can you talk about...
I could not find any news that wasn't about the Orange Eagle. And now we're watching the press briefing, and that's the only thing they don't want to talk about.
People should
It seems like the Orange Eagle situation is a huge distraction from other things.
So, look,
but now the White House doesn't want to talk about it. They want to try and talk about everything else, but there is nothing else to talk about.
Into this administration.
So I'm trying to figure out, what is this distraction from?
Dealing with COVID-19.
Why is this being laid out this way? It's a weird way to roll this out.
Is still with us. We're in a different place than we have been, and that's because of
Sam Peter's a straight up hooligan. I know, I want to send him a t-shirt.
actions. We are
Real bad.
seeing that progress has been made. We are better positions to transition out of the emergency phase of this response. That is important because of the comprehensive response that we have had, that this president has pushed forward. And when we have more to say, I certainly will share that closer to May. I don't have anything to preview or to announce at this time.
Thank you.
Afghanistan,
Go ahead.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, thank you so much. Are there any circumstances, stepping back from New York, are there any circumstances under which President Biden would consider a pardon for former President Trump similar to Ford's pardon of Nixon? And has that been discussed with any advisors? Is it completely off the table?
I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. I'm not going to get into any of that. All I can tell you is that we do not comment from here on any ongoing cases. Anything that's related to any of those cases, I refer you either to the DA as it relates to what's happening today or the Department of Justice. We're just not going to comment from here.
But it's President Biden's decision. Has it been discussed?
I hear you and I understand the question. I really do. I'm just not going to comment from here. Oh, go ahead.
So I noticed when the president was in Minnesota yesterday in what was a fairly wide-ranging economic agenda speech, he did not talk much about inflation, combating inflation and the like. I'm interested in kind of the thought process there, given the strain many Americans have felt because of inflation during his administration.
So, look, the president has always been very clear when it comes to lowering costs for the American people. That's a priority. That will always be a priority for this president. That's why the Inflation Reduction Act is so important. That's why we've seen the lower prices at the pump. It's gone down $1.50 since the peak this summer. A lot of that is because of what this president has done. And anytime he talks about his economic policy, you always hear him talk about lowering costs. We understand that there's more work to do, and the president's going to continue to do that. That's why he's gone out there to talk about investing in America, his Investing in America agenda, and also that's why you see his economic policies are working. When you think about job growth and job creation, when you think about the CHIPS and Science Act, when you think about the Inflation Reduction Act, when you think about unemployment at 3.6%, and real wages are higher than they were 8 months ago. So he has an economic policy that's going to build the economy from the bottom up, middle out. That's going to be his focus, but also lowering costs for the American people, something he talks about very often.
Following up on that, though, I mean, obviously in that speech he was talking about a lot of his successes. Does he view his combating inflation to be a success?
Say that again. You're a little difficult.
Successful in combating inflation. I mean, that speech was so focused on what he saw as his successes. Does he view how he's combated inflation to be successful?
Look, I think that lowering prescription drug costs, capping insulin at $35 a month for seniors, helping lower energy bills. Again, gas prices going down by $1.50 from its peak that it was this summer. that is the president taking action. That is the president meeting the American people where they are. Of course, there's always more work to be done, but this is a president that's taken action. And so that's what you'll hear from him. He's, of course, when he is in front of the American people, he's going to speak to them about what he's doing to make their lives better. And that's what you heard yesterday in Minneapolis. Or in Minnesota, to be more specific, as a state.
The president has spoken repeatedly about January 6th. He gave at least 2 major speeches that I can think of, and he's talked at length in various forums. There were more than 500 active legal cases going on during the time that he made those speeches, all of which potentially would have been affected by whatever his opinions were on the circumstances surrounding those cases. What is different between his being willing to talk about not the specifics of individual cases, but to talk about the issues presented by what happened on January 6th and questions about, just to put a fine point on it, I'm sort of going on Peter's point, it's like, and frankly, a lot of the questions here, there's an understanding about not wanting to comment specifically about this case, perhaps, but there are issues that are presented. People have been talking about them for weeks now, when a former president, any former president, would be indicted for the first time and arrested for the first time. What is the White House's reticence, and what's the difference between that and this?
Done?
I'm done. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But with all seriousness, January 6th was a devastating day. Like, you guys, I think if you guys weren't there, some of your colleagues were on Capitol Hill. We had law enforcement, police officers who were attacked, who died. And what we saw on that day was an attack on our democracy. It was a devastating, devastating day in our history. And it was a moment for this president to have spoken to, right? You had millions and millions of Americans who watched what was happening on Capitol Hill, something that many of us, I've never seen it, and many of us had never, ever seen before, you know? And it was something that needed to be spoken to. When you see something like that, our democracy.
I'm watching these live. Supposedly the Orange Eagle's about to walk out, and there's supposed to be some sort of press briefing about what just took place, and I think we're going to cover it. I think we'll be safe covering it because it's going to be some blue team guy talking about it. So I assume it's going to be okay to show that.
Different moment and a different.
I'm keeping my eye out for it.
No, I hear.
Follow up.
I know, but let me.
Sure, go ahead.
When it comes to these types of cases, these criminal, like, specific cases, we're just not going to comment. I know there's a broad. I get you. I know there's a broader question of what this.
Everybody in the chat, is she drunk? Is she drinking? You guys crack me up.
To decide or make decisions that he might make, like hypothetical questions. I'm just not going to comment from here on that.
Again, and I was asking why you were going to comment on that.
I'm hoping that I laid that out for you, and I just laid out why we commented on January 6th, and we're just going to be very mindful. These are ongoing cases.
500 cases involving Americans whose freedom was at risk.
I hear you, but
right?
this is something that all of Americans watch in real time. In real time. And people...
What does that matter?
People die.
Karine, I don't need a lecture on the fact that
Who?
Me.
But
you're lecturing me.
Yes, you are. I'm asking questions, and what I'm saying is there are millions of people out there watching today. You called January 6th historic. It was absolutely historic, and none of us had ever seen that before. Nobody's seen this before either. There are millions and millions of Americans watching the first time in 250 years a former president be hauled into court and processed for arrest. That means something. That has some effect, potentially, I suspect, on American democracy and on how the rest of the world. The president has talked a lot about how the rest of the world sees the United States in the wake of January 6th. Totally valid. Why isn't there a similar kind of assessment about how the world is watching us now? Good or bad? I'm not making a judgment whichever way. I'm just saying. And
I hear your question. January 6th was a different moment. It just was. It was something that that was incredibly devastating. People died on that day and were harmed. And it was just something that we saw visually, that we reacted to, and many people were scared in that moment. And as the president was taking office as the next president of the United States, a president that ran on bringing the country together, on protecting our democracy, it was something that it was important.
I'm not sure what's going on. All those people just came out of that back room, though.
And also,
I don't know if we're going to see Orange Eagle or what. I'm waiting for this press briefer.
About this, when it comes to a criminal investigation like this, that is ongoing, we are just not going to comment. We're not going to interfere. We're not going to politically interfere from here. And we've been consistent. We've been very consistent. I know you're bringing up January 6th. I just laid out why we believe that was very different. But we're just going to be consistent on not commenting on any criminal ongoing investigation. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend.
Yes. Thank you. Well, number one, thank you very much for your comment for my traditional dress that Afghan people show reaction and say thanks from Afghanistan, although they are in Taliban prison. They say thank you. They were happy because Afghan women made that dress. And my question is, what's your assessment about Daesh in Afghanistan? Because nowadays Daesh is very active in Afghanistan.
So a couple of things there for you, and you're welcome. I was happy to do it. It was a beautiful attire. So when you're talking about, your question again? I was giving you a compliment, and
what's your U.S. assessment about Daesh in Afghanistan?
Got it. So I know that. We will judge the Taliban by their actions and not what they say. The Taliban wants to be accepted by the international community, but its actions over the last year, such as the increasing repression of women, which I know this is an issue that you care about, have only moved the Taliban farther from the outcome. We will continue to engage the Taliban when necessary to protect the interests of the United States. And any other specifics on that particular agreement, I would refer you to the State Department. I'm going to move around. Go ahead, Michael.
Just a quick follow-up on Michael's question. Are you saying that if the former president is indicted related to January 6th, you would comment on that case?
I'm not going to get into hypotheticals from here. All I'm saying is I'm just not going to comment on ongoing investigation as we're looking what's unfolding today. I'm just not going to comment on it. All right. Go ahead.
Thank you. The vice president just came back from Africa, and it appears to be a very successful trip. She went to 3 nations, and one of them was Ghana. I'm very curious, and so are many people commenting online, with regard to Ghana being a nation that still has issues with slavery. I wonder if you could just comment on the U.S. connecting with a nation that has that level of humanitarian crisis.
So look, and we've talked about this before when it comes to humanitarian crisis or when it comes to anything related in that vein, we are always going to speak to that.
I think the Orange Eagle just left the building. There's supposed to be some sort of press briefing about what just happened.
The president held his.
We're going to show here in a second.
He said to the African leaders at the time that we are all in. And we are. And one of the things that we believe that's very important, and you saw from this vice president when she traveled to the continent, the announcement that she made on increasing investments and facilitating economic growth and opportunity, specifically as it in areas of empowerment for young women, which is incredibly important, empowerment for young girls, empowerment for youth entrepreneurship, and those are the things that was incredibly important to that trip as well. Digital inclusion, increasing food security, including adaptation to climate crisis. Those are the things that she talked about. She had deliverables announcing investments that we were making in the continent. And so, look, it was an important trip, and we think that again, it was incredibly successful. And this is going to be a continuation of our commitment to continue to partner and make sure that that continent, the African continent, is not left behind. And so you're going to continue to see that from this administration. Okay, go ahead.
Is the administration expecting or preparing for possible Chinese military drills in the event of the Taiwanese president's meeting with Speaker McCarthy tomorrow?
So we've been very clear about this when we talk about the president-sized transit. It's private and it's unofficial. And look, there should be no overreaction from the PRC. This is a trip. When you look at the transit that is underway, that has been for a long time has occurred.
I don't know if people aren't waiting for the press briefer or what, but it looks like everyone's dispersing.
About 6 times.
I'm watching these other channels though, so
there should be no reason.
The prosecutor, whatever his name is, Bragg or whatever,
China too.
He's supposed to come out and say something. So when he does, we're going to flip over to that.
There's no change to our one China policy. We've been very clear about that, and I'll leave it at that. Any specifics that you may have about the trip itself, I would refer you to the Taiwan authorities.
On Venezuela, is the White House looking for new diplomatic channels with the government of Nicolás Maduro in Venezuela?
Don't have anything else any update to share on that relationship with Venezuela at this time. Go ahead.
This is the 78th anniversary of the atom bomb over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the G7 next month will be in Hiroshima. Do you know if there's a visit plan to the memorial? And last time you were in Japan, you never got to see anything, so we take a little time to see a few of the sites.
Oh, that's so kind.
And the second follow-up is that there's great shock in Japan about the arrest of the opposition candidate. It's very common in many parts of the world, but most people didn't expect it to ever happen in America. What is just a comment on that?
Wait, say that last part again. There's a lot of talk in Japan.
There's been a lot of shock in Japan as to the arrest of the opposition candidate. It's very common in many parts of the world.
You're talking about which opposition candidate you're talking about?
Upcoming election.
Oh, you're talking about the U.S.
Yeah, and it's very common. In many parts of the world, it's very common, but people just never expected that to happen in America. So, just a view of that from outside.
I love how you guys are asking me this in different ways. It's very, of course, you guys are clever. The first question, I don't have anything to announce at this time about the G7. Once we have something to share, certainly we'll share that with all of you. On the second one, I'm just not going to comment from here, and so I'll leave it there. Okay, everybody. All right, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Karine. See you.
Thank you, Karine.
Thank you. No, you're very welcome.
Whoa, I'm huge. All right. I found the press briefing with the prosecutor Bragg to talk about whatever they just did at the courthouse. So we're going to pull that up here. I'm going to see if I can find a clearer live feed. Actually, it shows all these channels are just showing this one camera feed right here. Okay, we're gonna watch this live for just a moment. I'm keeping an eye on the press briefing thing. I assume there's gonna be more people in the room by the time they're ready to start. I'm gonna see what the other video is that I have on the schedule. If it's short enough, we'll squeeze that in before we go to the live press briefing. It's nice to have actual lives on the screen though, instead of just news. This is the guy that was walking through the crowd. I don't know if he's an Antifa or what. He looks a little bit like a meth head. We'll be able to see him in a second. Thank you so much, big fella, for that $5 donation. I appreciate you. Thank you. We are going to cover the Orange Eagle talking later today. I have to figure out exactly what time. Rightside Broadcasting says it's going to start at 6, but they always start really early. I heard that it's not going to be until 8. So sometime in between 6 and 8, we are going to cover it. It's not going to be on YouTube because of the community guidelines. Can't get in trouble. I just got my account back. So we're going to be showing it on the non-YouTube platforms. Make sure you're either a part of Gilded, or you follow me on social media, or you're a part of JeffMAClive.com. That way you can get notified for when we go live for that event. If you rely on the notifications, that stuff's all built on algorithms, so just being subscribed to a live channel isn't really enough. You can click the bell icon and select all to try and help your chances of receiving a notification. Oh, he ended the live. But the notifications for the live stream platforms are based on algorithm. So based on how the live stream does will depict on how many people receive notifications the next time we go live. To bypass all that, you can select the bell icon, select all. It'll increase your chances of being a person that's notified. But if you're a part of Gilded, Discord, Telegram, or JeffMAClive.com, you absolutely will get notified when we go live. If you're following me on any kind of social media other than Facebook, because I'm disconnected from Facebook right now, make sure that you have the bell icon turned on with that. That way when I post, you'll be notified, because I also send out notifications through social media when we go live. That's probably the best way. But sometime between 6 and 8, we're going to go live with the Orange Eagle. Seeing some people, more people in the press briefing room where Bragg is supposed to be talking about whatever they just did at the courthouse. As soon as I see some official people step out, we'll put that on the screen. We might watch this video here in a second if it takes too long for this press briefing. This video is only 1.5 minutes long. I think we'll go ahead and show it. So this video is titled "Roy McGrath Killed During Encounter with FBI in Tennessee After a 3-Week Manhunt." right after we watch this, we'll go back to the press briefing because I'm interested to see what they say about the Orange Eagle now that they've brought him all the way to New York to be processed and whatever.
Well, the 3-week nationwide manhunt for McGrath is now over.
The ex-chief of staff to former Governor Larry Hogan was killed in Tennessee last night after being hurt during a confrontation with an FBI agent.
Alexis Davila joins us live in studio this morning to explain the details of what happened. Alexis.
Well, McGrath's attorney Joseph Murtha says FBI confirmed McGrath's death to him. However, Murtha says it was not made clear if McGrath hurt himself or was shot by an FBI agent. Now, this is what we know. Late last night, the FBI confirmed that there was an agent-involved shooting in Knoxville, Tennessee. McGrath was hurt and taken to the hospital where he later died. Agents surrounded McGrath in an area near a major highway in Knoxville, but it's still unclear how they were able to track him down. The manhunt for McGrath started 3 weeks ago when he skipped a court appearance for his federal fraud trial here in Baltimore. According to prosecutors, McGrath was accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the state during his time with the government-owned nonprofit Maryland Environmental Service. He was also accused of fraud and embezzlement connected to $170,000 in expenses. McGrath was indicted and was looking at a maximum of 100 years in prison. Now, in a statement, McGrath's attorney told us, quote, "It is a tragic ending to the past 3 weeks of uncertainty. I think it is important to stress that Roy never wavered about his innocence." Now, coming up at 6:30, we'll share with you former Governor Hogan's thoughts on the sudden death of his former aide. Back to you.
Well, that sounds super suspicious. They were searching for this guy, found this guy. They don't know what happened, but he was killed. They don't know if he did it to himself or if the officer did it. I don't know. Not an officer, a federal agent. Sounds suspicious to me. So everybody's still waiting on some officials to come out here and do some speaking. Could happen at any moment. Happy Freedom Willie Fix It. Thanks for being here. Shrapnel, it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. Thanks for sharing your day with us. Hope today is awesome for you. Maybe I'll pour myself a drink. Well, cheers for your birthday. Preza, let me check my list really quick. What's up, Dharma Agent? I know I made it back. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here. My brain is all over the place. It's probably because I haven't been sleeping well, but I'm also just really excited to be here. Yeah, give me a second, Impreza. Yes, that was me, Impreza. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is so awesome. I will get that all set up as soon as it arrives. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Impreza. It looks like these guys are getting ready for this Bragg briefing. That's what we're going to call it, the Bragg briefing. As soon as I see somebody with a tie step out on stage, we're gonna flip the screen over. Could you imagine if something happened, like while we were watching this, something crazy just happened? I think people would be pissed. I think people would be super upset if some sort of event just happened while we're watching this live. Happy Freedom Can Killer, thanks for being here. Did things straighten out on Odyssey, or are they still all messed up? I'm keeping an eye on this Bragg briefing. Don't you worry, we're not going to miss it. We're going to hear how he talks about the Orange Eagle. Jeffro, it's your birthday today too? Or are you Shrapnel on YouTube? You guys always confuse me because you don't ever carry your names over to other platforms. If not, happy birthday to you, Jeffro. It's awesome. Appreciate you sharing your day with us. Hope today is awesome for you. Sam, nothing here yet. Not sure what's going on with Odyssey. I reset the stream for it. I'm not sure. I always think birthdays are awesome. It's your own personal holiday. I always try to go all out for my birthday. When I was younger, it was like if I don't die from alcohol poisoning, I didn't do it right. Like, I'm glad I grew up, but I've always thought birthdays were awesome. And for people that are near me, when it's their birthday, if I have the ability, I'm always like, you gotta go big. You gotta celebrate all the way up. It's your birthday. It's your own personal holiday. Yup. Awesome, Impreza. Thank you. Thank you so much. Crab Nebula. I was sitting here trying to figure out how to read your name. I did get everything resolved. As far as I can tell, this is my first time using my computer since it all happened. Hopefully everything is clear. I think it was more of like a phishing deal, like a bait and switch, more than an actual virus itself. I think because I had the platform signed in and opened, when I opened the document, I think it just latched right on and went from there, more than actually infecting the computer, just based on some symptoms and some things that I'm noticing that I don't really want to say out loud. I don't want to give too much information away, or else maybe they'll attack me a different way. I think things are resolved. They did try and take some money from me right before the live started, but I think that's because of probably saved information they have, and I went through and changed some things and tried to up my security. It wasn't a security issue. It wasn't a spyware issue or software issue or anything like that. It was that I turned my security off and trusted YouTube as they told me to open a virus. That's what happened. It was legitimately YouTube I was talking to. They just don't care enough about us to actually pay attention to what's being said. I said, I explained to them, this is the email, here's some screenshots, this is who it's from, this is what it says. They said, yep, open it. And then I told them, hey, saying there's something wrong, my spyware or my antivirus is flagging it. They said, turn it off, open the document, or else we'll demonetize you. So I did, and it cost me everything. But thankfully, Team YouTube on Twitter actually helped me. They actually helped me. The customer service in the YouTube studio, which is legitimate for content creators that are monetized. If you're not monetized, you can't access it. Those people are Walmart greeters. They don't know anything. And they literally led me down the wrong path, and they compromised my entire system. Thankfully, it's fixed now, but don't save your passwords and usernames to Google. Don't save anything to Google that you don't have to absolutely save. Do not trust anything. Trust your gut. Trust your instincts. Do not trust do not trust the YouTube platform. I'm so thankful that they helped me. I would not have been able to get it back without them, but really it's because of all of you tagging Team YouTube on Twitter and reporting the account for on YouTube, saying like, hey, there's something wrong, and reaching out to customer service and all of that. That's what made the difference. But trusting YouTube is what got me in the mess in the first place. So don't trust Google. Don't save your stuff to Google, especially payments and stuff, because if someone gets in, you'll lose everything. I mean, my phone was gone. I woke up and was like, hey, keyword, what time is it? And it was like, sorry, you have to log in. Even my units here at the house, my cameras were compromised because they're synchronized to my phone. My phone's synchronized to my Google. Lost all my apps, lost all my contacts, lost all my settings, lost my cameras in my house, lost my units in my house. I couldn't even control the lights in the house anymore. I mean, it literally lost everything because I trusted YouTube. So don't do that. Don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. I need to come on with this Bragg briefing. That's what we're waiting on. After the Bragg briefing is over, I don't have anything else to cover on YouTube. I do have one video. It's a very short video. It's maybe a minute long for the non-YouTube platforms. I'd show it if I could. The community guidelines is the reason I can't. It's not my fault. It's not that I don't want to. But that's all I have for today. So that's why we're just kind of hanging out here, seeing what's going on. Susan, it's scary. It is scary. And it's kind of giving me PTSD because this all started with my phone dinging at 7:14 in the morning. It was like ding, ding, ding. And I was like, what is going on? And I rolled over and picked my phone up. 10 emails from Google saying recovery passwords changed. Recovery phone numbers changed. Recovery, everything has changed. Passwords are changed. Everything has changed. And I was like, what is that? And I went to talk to the Google unit. Wasn't connected anymore. Went to log in on my phone, couldn't log in. Went to try recovery stuff like to, get a code or receive a text. Nope, all my information is gone. And so it was like having a ghost in your house watching you. You just reading all your information, watching what you're doing, watching what you're typing in. It was not okay. It was not okay. It's still not really okay. I don't even know if everything's okay now, because it didn't happen immediately. I opened the email and I compromised my system, but they didn't take advantage of it for like 15 hours. I had done the mistake and then went through the whole day, went to bed, and then woke up in the morning to being attacked. So it didn't happen immediately. This is the first time I've used my computer since all that happened. I did thorough cleaning. I did everything except for replace the hard drive. And I didn't want to do that unless I absolutely had to. I have 17 years worth of information on this computer. Like I was 20 or something like that. I was younger than 20, I think, when I started owning my own computer. So yeah, it was not great. The whole situation was not great. But hopefully it's all better now. Hopefully I don't wake up tomorrow morning to another list of emails saying all of this has been compromised because I'm sitting here live with you guys. Hopefully that doesn't happen. There's no way to tell, and unless it happens or it doesn't happen. I've put all the security stuff in place. I'm hoping everything will be okay. But Yeah, don't open suspicious emails. Trust your gut. Susan, someone's trying to take over your life. They hijacked my Facebook account, locked me out of it, made my face a woman, and then changed my name to Olivia somebody. And people were texting me saying, what is going on with your Facebook? And I was like, I don't know. And I went to log in and all my stuff was changed. And apparently they were trying to change my account to say they were somebody famous, some like super famous person, and were sending messages out to people asking for money and stuff. But Facebook caught it, flagged the account, locked it, because they could tell that it was hijacked. I don't know why YouTube and Google couldn't tell that my stuff was hijacked until after, 300 hooligans tagged them on Twitter. But everywhere else this has happened, it's been flagged immediately. I don't know what's going on with the Google security. It's not good, I'll tell you that. It would be one. I'd still wipe the PC. Yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. If something does happen, I don't think it's going to be compromised again. I think I'll start getting emails saying, passwords are being requested, or here's the security code you requested when I didn't request one. I think I'll start seeing signs like that, and if I do, I'm going to have to wipe everything. And if I do, there's a lot of software and stuff that will just be gone. Most of the stuff that comes out today is not a big deal. You could just sign in, install the software, like live streaming and stuff like that. You go to the website, install the software, sign in, boom, there's all your stuff. I've had this computer for 17 years. This used to be my music studio. So all my sounds are here, all my music's here, all my music software is here that costs hundreds of dollars to have. That has a serial number that you can only use once. There's like unknown amount of programs and things like that hold on, what is this? I think they're just testing. I doubt this person's official. Oh, they might be official.
2, 3. Is everyone good on the mic check? Good? All right.
All right. It's almost time. It's almost game time. Yeah. I have 360 programs installed in this computer. I looked at it yesterday. I would have to go back and reinstall all of that. Most of that stuff would not be reclaimable. I'd have to repurchase all that software. And it's a big job. I mean, it's worth it if it means that I won't be infected anymore, but I'm trying to not have to do that. I'm trying to not go through that route. Susan, do you think it's a bug? I don't know. Chris, back it up. See, that's the other thing is I could run a backup, but there's nothing saying it won't back up the virus. If there's viruses in there and I do a system backup and I get a brand new hard drive and then I reboot the system, like do a system backup, a system restore on the new hard drive, it could just put the virus right on the new hard drive. There's no real, I don't know. It's really hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I could buy a new hard drive, start from scratch, hope for the best, but I'd be losing 17 years of information that I've been saving pretty much the whole time I've owned my own computer. It would be one, you need to hire a professional to clean it. I don't know. I don't know anybody that knows more about computers than I do, or the people that have reached out to me. There is no one in my area that would be able to clean it more than I have. I've gone over it with everything. If it's still compromised, then I have to just trash the hard drive. There is no fixing it. If it's still compromised, then it's just trash. The hard drive's trash. Nina, they have plenty of information. I'm not providing them with any information they don't already have. But there is symptoms to what happened that's telling me that this is more of a targeted thing. They have intentions. There's specific intentions. This isn't just gathering information and stuff like that. There's intentions. And I can tell by the way things were changed, what was changed and what wasn't, and how they were changed and things like that. I don't want to say too much, but there's just a lot of suspicious things that happen. I think it's really suspicious that YouTube told me to do it, and then YouTube was also the one that was targeted. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. I'd like to shake this anxious feeling that every time my phone dings, I don't have to wake up and run out into the living room to try and recover my account before it kicks the bucket. I would like to not do that. I'd like to go to sleep for at least 4 hours or longer without waking up. Because I literally have not slept more than 10 minutes at a time since Saturday. And I'm starting to get like manic and kind of weird. Weirder than normal. Weirder than normal. But I can't shake this feeling. I'm just constantly under attack. It's like giving me PTSD. Christy, they want to put technology in your house. Yeah, imagine if they hijacked my car. Imagine if I had a Tesla or something. It'd be rough. Dharma agent, I don't know what that is. I think what happened is because I had the account open and logged in and I was talking to YouTube and I activated the file. I think I activated it. They latched onto the credentials. They logged in. They logged me out. And then they searched for information in that account. And that's all that seems to have happened, because there's other stuff. I don't want to say too much. I think that's what happened, though. I think it's more of a targeted thing than a whole takeover. Cube, my EV started on fire. It's probably hacked. Could have been hacked. The seatbelt locked up too? Yeah, I don't know. I know that technology is not to be trusted. I know that. Who knows? It could have been AI. It could have been AI attacking me. That's why Elon said to put it on pause. It was AI coming for me for talking all that crap. Never again. Sorry to hear. I learned the hard way. It's a bad idea to connect accounts. All it takes is one hack. Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't have everything connected. I just had a lot of things connected to this one account, but I didn't have everything connected. So I didn't totally take myself off the map, but I don't know. It'll be nice when this isn't a worry anymore. I had a whole bunch of other problems before this happened. This last week has really been trials for me. Every single day I wake up, there's some life-altering problem happening. Some new challenge that I have to overcome that cannot be completed in a single day. So I have a long to-do list of potential life-shattering issues looming over me. And I feel devastated, and then the next day, oh, here's one that's even worse, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and the next day, here's another one that's even worse, and I'm like, I can't even remember my first problems, because every day there's worse problems. And then this one really took the cake. I was like, what's after this? Homelessness? Cancer? What's after this? So I don't know, but today's been good. Yesterday was okay. I'm hoping that I'm on the other side. The only thing I can think of is that maybe something great is coming. Because it's always darkest before it's dawn. Everything happens the way it's supposed to be. Everything is as it should be. So I'm hoping that this is toughening me up, but also good things to come. That's what I'm hoping for. Hey, Linda, I appreciate it. It's good to be back. It's good to be. I hope it stays this way. That's the big thing, is I hope that I stay back, because if stuff happens, there's nothing saying that we'll be able to come back. There's nothing saying we'll get a third chance. This second chance is a gift, but it's nothing saying there'll be a third chance. Kylie, stay positive. It always gets better. It could. I'm trying to. I think I think I've done as much as I can. If there's problems after this, I don't think it'll be a full compromise, but I think I will just have to lose everything on the computer. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully everything's good to go right now. All I know is this person better say something worth listening to, since we're sitting here waiting on them so long. Hey, thanks for being here, Suzette. Have a good day at work. Thank you so much, Alan J. Mackey, for the 1,000 bits over on Twitch. I appreciate you. Thank you. I assume they're going to be starting here pretty soon. What is this? Alan J. Mackey, yeah. Everything that's been updated wasn't updated through the PC. And I'm not saving anything. I don't know. Time will tell. That's the only way I can do this. Time will tell. Either things are fixed or they're not. Hopefully they are. I'm just hoping for the best. But yeah, I think that's what happened too. It's all the autosave files. That's what they're targeting. That board on the right, although it's really blurry right now, it said something about 2016. I don't know. They better not say anything that's gonna get me in trouble. It's so stupid. I'd be so mad if I got a strike on the first day I came back. And I still have that other strike. That other strike doesn't expire until May 14th. Snooks, it breaks down his charges. Yeah, I just don't want them talking about anything that has to do with 2020, because that's the big no-no. Everything else is fine, I believe. It would be one, it's super easy to extract the save passwords from Chrome if they've been saved. Yeah, that's why like I've gone through and changed everything and then just not updated it on anywhere that logs any information. I've set it to not save anything. I've changed it on other systems and then come over here logged in after severe cleaning. I mean, I've done Tron, I've done Malwarebytes, I've done Norton Super Eraser or whatever it is. I've done everything. I've installed every antivirus that I could find, and I would run scan after scan after scan, deep scan, bootkit scans, rootkit scans, all kinds of scans, scans in safe mode, scans with the internet off, scans with the internet on, scans during boot. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I've done everything that I can find anything on. Kylie. Norton doesn't do anything, but they have a specific tool that is useful, but Norton itself doesn't do anything. I don't think AVG even does anything. But from super powerful stuff to flimsy stuff, I did everything just to even detect stuff. I even used Windows Defender. I mean, everything. I've done everything. And if it could detect something, I would log where the file is, and then I would do everything to try and get it out there. So let's see. Butthead, you mean you were scammed? Yeah, by YouTube. I was scammed by YouTube. YouTube customer service is the one that told me to do something that compromised me. But I don't know. I removed 87 suspicious files from my computer. So I'm hoping that matters. Hillbilly at heart. If I had a system restore, I would have been okay. I would have been able to do a system restore, and it probably would have brought me back from before I had installed threats. But I didn't have a system restore. Yeah, Coin Dragon, there's a lot of people that swear by Malwarebytes, and I have that. I think I even have the trial version where it's got all the extra stuff in it. I have a lot of trial version stuff where it's like, oh, for the next 14 days, we'll give you the full version of the software. I'm like, fine, whatever. As long as you can clean the stuff, I don't care. We'll figure out the trial stuff later on when they're asking me to pay. Oh, here we go.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here today.
Lying makes you weak.
Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned on a New York Supreme Court indictment returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime. That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct. The defendant repeatedly made false statements on New York business records. He also caused others to make false statements. The defendant claimed that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. This simply was not true. And it was a false statement that the defendant made month after month in 2017. April, May, June, and so on through the rest of the year. For 9 straight months, the defendant held documents in his hand containing this key lie, that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. And he personally signed checks for payments to Michael Cohen for each of these 9 months. In total, the grand jury found there were 34 documents with this critical false statement. Why did Donald Trump repeatedly make these false statements? The evidence will show that he did so to cover what was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap, and the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law. That is why Mr. Trump made false statements about his payments to Mr. Cohen. He could not simply say that the payments were a reimbursement for Mr. Cohen's payments to Stormy Daniels. To do so, to make that true statement, would have been to admit a crime. So instead, Mr. Trump said that he was paying Mr. Cohen for fictitious legal services in 2017 to cover up actual crime committed the prior year. And in order to get Michael Cohen his money back, they planned one last false statement. In order to complete the scheme, they planned to mischaracterize the repayments to Mr. Cohen as income to the New York State tax authorities. The conduct I just described and that which was charged by the grand jury is felony criminal conduct in New York State. True and accurate business records are important everywhere, to be sure. They are all the more important in Manhattan, the financial center of the world. That is why we have a history in the Manhattan DA's office of vigorously enforcing white-collar crime. My office, including the talented prosecutors you saw at arraignment earlier today, has charged hundreds of felony falsifying business records. This charge, it can be said, is the bread and butter of our white.
Continuing the membership program for 16 months. You're officially a hooligan. I appreciate you. Thank you. Well, that was short. He didn't say anything. Said a whole bunch of nothing. Now everybody on Twitter is going to be all like, oh, this is a win for us. Do. Not true. Not true. This mess will all fall apart. It's going to be a whole bunch of nothing. Like it always is. It's always a bunch of nothing. It's part of the song and dance at this point. Alright, hooligans, this is what I think we're going to do. I do have a video for the non-YouTube platforms. I don't have anything else to show on YouTube. But instead of cutting everything off, we're going to be going live again sometime between 6 and 8. I got to figure it out. But Orange Eagle is supposed to be speaking. Right Side Broadcasting is supposed to be covering it. We're going to cover it on all the non-YouTube platforms because it's against community guidelines to show pretty much anything that Orange Eagle talks about. So that video that I have for the non-YouTube platforms, we're just going to play it when we go live for that. We'll just add it right into the live. So that way we all can do the Pledge of Allegiance together, because I don't ever get to do that with everybody who only watches on YouTube, because the live isn't usually over when we leave YouTube. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't think I need to give you guys the spiel deal. You know all the links. Go to the link tree, get yourself a cool t-shirt, join Gilded, join the website. If you follow me on social media, turn the bell icon on. That way you'll be notified when we go live. There's the spiel deal. Ta-da. All right, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, hooligans, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I gotta fix this camera angle. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was so upset the last time that we did the Pledge of Allegiance. I was so upset the last time I was live. It is so good to be back. It is so good that all of this has come to where it is right now. I really appreciate all of you hooligans. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, Big Chap, for continuing the membership program. You're officially a hooligan. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, everyone. I will be live again sometime between 6 and 8. I think Orange Eagle is supposed to be on stage at 8, but Right Side Broadcasting News go live really early. I think that's the plan. Be connected to me. That way you'll know when we go live. I can't show it on YouTube because of community guidelines. Can't break the rules and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys understand. But be connected to me. That way you know when we are going live, because we will be live again today. If anything crazy happens, because it is getting warmer outside, I am seeing symptoms of protesting and, you know, a spicy summer coming. I've been on the lookout for protests and activity going on. I know it's been really slow with the lives. I know not everybody likes Coffee with Hooligans because we're, you know, covering the news and whatnot, but it's better than not being live. So that's why we're doing all that stuff. But now that it's getting warmer out, we're going to see more lives. And so we will be going live. I am keeping my eye out for that. But we will be going live later today with the Orange Eagle. Hopefully I see all of you guys there. Thank you guys so much for everything. So sincerely, thank you guys so much for everything. So with that being said, big shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership program, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate you guys, and I would not be able to do this without you. So thank you so much for all your support. I will see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.